The scariest part of working with a factory in China is actually paying them. A scammer stole almost $100,000 from me on my first order, and I'm going to share with you how it happened and, even more importantly, how you can absolutely avoid it. Blindly wiring thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to a person you've never met and whose interactions are probably confined to WeChat or Alibaba is terrifying, unnecessary, and very risky. My name is Carlos Alvarez, and I'm a full-time Amazon seller of 15 years, co-host of the Wizards of Ecom podcast, and founder of the largest Amazon seller meetup group in the world. When I got scammed on Alibaba, I was just beginning my Ecom journey as an eBay seller and had really just started discovering Amazon. I was focusing on garage sales, flipping used books, storage auctions, wholesaling, and not knowing exactly where your next sale is going to come from or what the product's going to be, or if the brand I'm reselling is going to stop selling to me, deeply motivated me to create my own brand. Since there was not a lot of options 15 years ago, I found myself on Alibaba, and as luck would have it, I found my supplier of my first PL within a few hours, and the PL was perfect for me at the time. It had a low MOQ, only cost about 8 cents, and it was just a small piece of silicone. The product actually was an adult novelty item. And to keep the video as tasteful as possible, I'll just say that it was this silicone ring. A guy put it on, it had a motor, and we leave it at that. So since I didn't have much money at the time, I ordered small batches and they absolutely flew. I couldn't keep these rings in stock. So with each order, my reorder quantities just exploded. These products were landed at about 16 cents. I'd sell them for 20 bucks. Amazing. And around the same time, I was slowly quitting my real job. And this new hero product, coupled with like $81,000 from friends and family, it gave me the courage to just quit and take this thing full time. Obviously, anyone in that scenario, maybe you're thinking the same thing. The first thing I try to do is I try to immediately place an $81,000 order of these rings. And to my utter shock, the supplier said it would take 90 days. I was totally stunned, super offended, could not understand why this person didn't just ship me my products. And up until that point, my orders were all shipped out the same day. And I was like, duh. I mean, with total hindsight and experience, I now understand what happened. I was ordering quantities up until that point that were sitting in stock. They were small quantities and they were in as-is packaging. Now I'm here trying to place an order for 500,000 units in my own custom packaging. So yeah, of course, they needed to mass produce this product. They needed to print packaging. That sort of stuff takes a while. That's what they call lead time. Still, I was totally ignorant of this and envisioning all of these profits that I'm going to make off this order. My life would forever be changed. No more surviving off the $5 footlongs from Subway. And with this scarcity mindset, I searched for another supplier in Alibaba who was serious and who had the products in stock ready to ship. I found one on Alibaba. It was a factory based in Hong Kong who had a warehouse full of these like cellophane wrapped pallets of all my products ready to ship. So I wired the money immediately and then nothing. Complete silence. And then a week later, still nothing. I was so naive. I was more concerned that something may have happened to this guy's family. And I was willing to accept any excuse except the one that I had been scammed. So 2 weeks later, still no word from this person. Still gets me a little choked up just thinking about it to this day. I felt like my world was crashing. I check out some stuff on Google and I realize this is super commonplace. Like, you can get scammed on Alibaba, and other people were getting scammed as well. And then it hit me. At that stage, I was like, man, I had lost everything. I'll spare you the rest of the story for another video, but after I picked myself up off the floor, I vowed to never get scammed like that again. And 15 years later, thousands of orders with factories under my belt, and with the help of inspections, I have never been scammed again. I'm going to share 5 inspection types with you right now that you can use now to never get scammed and to make sure that all the products that you're ordering and receiving are of the highest quality. Factory inspections are conducted by service providers in China who specialize in all areas of quality control and manufacturing, logistics. Really good inspection companies also have teams who specialize in all of the different product and material types that can be manufactured. You don't want an inspection company who only knows how to evaluate plastics doing your quality control inspections on electronics products that you've ordered. It's sort of like you don't want roofers giving you legal advice. I think that's the commercial. And the company I use for all of my inspections in China, Vietnam, all of Asia, and I've used them for over a decade, is VTrust. If you've never worked with VTrust before, I dropped a link in the description, which will give you a really nice discount on your first inspection. But once you choose the inspection company that you're going to work with and you've chose the inspection type with VTrust, all you got to do is introduce them to the factory that you're going to be working with and explain to the factory that your company policy dictates that you need to perform an inspection on any vendor that you're working with. So I've noticed through the meetup groups that I host that most sellers skip the inspection process, not because they don't know that it exists, which is like, oh wow, they people know they can inspect these companies. That's amazing. But it's actually because they feel like the factory that they're working with is going to be offended, that it's going to somehow be like, I don't trust you, it's too confrontational, or you're somehow calling their honor into question. On the contrary though, factories expect this from serious clients. So the fact that you're doing one lets them know you are a serious client. Not to mention, people, businesses are much less likely to cut corners when they know the work that they're doing is going to be inspected. So once your inspection company and factory are connected via email, they're just going to coordinate a date and a time to allow the inspection company to come to the factory so that they can do the inspection. Within less than a week, you're going to have a comprehensive report outlining everything that you wanted to know in that inspection so that you can proceed to the next step. So once you've narrowed down the factory you believe you're going to be working with, the first critical inspection type is the golden sample. You would think that the sample that you order from a factory is going to be a sample that they actually made. In reality, this is not the case. Think about this for a second. A factory hears from their dream customer, a business in the United States. By the way, if you're from the US, the dream client's you. You want a sample of their portable coffee grinder that they have visible on their Alibaba store, but they don't have any lying around. Factories, like many other businesses, they don't want to tie up all their money in samples and products that are just going to sit there. And factories are no different. They don't want to have money tied up into samples or a few units of each of their SKUs in their massive catalog just sitting there for the off chance somebody's going to ask for one. So what do? They go to a neighboring supplier, they go to the mall, and what they do is non-maliciously, they go out and try to find a product that is close to identical in appearance or that they feel like they could make and is better. Again, I don't feel like it's done maliciously in most cases. They just want to close the sale. They feel like they could actually deliver something that's better. So you're going to be even happier. If you like this, you're going to love what we can do. And that's what they do. So the massive risk here though, is that you're going to be evaluating this sample's quality to determine if you're going to place a massive mass production order with them. And in reality, you're not even seeing a sample of something that they actually produced. So the first inspection type that I really suggest you start doing is the golden sample. It completely solves for this. When you're ready to place an order with a factory, you put them in contact with VTrust and you just explain to them that you're going to be performing a golden sample inspection. This inspection is very different than a lot of other inspections. I'm not sure why they came up with the name golden sample, but it makes sense later on. And what the golden sample does is it says the inspection is that VTrust is going to go to the factory and they're going to pick up 3 samples from them of the product you want. And the first thing is they're going to make sure that these 3 products are identical. This is a critical first step, and they have very specific uses for these 3 samples. Obviously, if you want to receive more than just 3 samples, you could receive a lot more. Like maybe you want to do product photography, you want to put this in the hand of influencers, you could totally do that. It's not limited to 3, but the golden sample needs at least 3. And the reason for this is the first sample, it's going to be obtained by VTrust. They're going to take it to their lab. I always envision that they're going like caveman style on this, like with 2 clocks, smashing them together to see what the inner workings were like. And in reality though, like in a much more scientific way, this is in the lab. They're testing the types of material used, the types of glues, the types of everything that's involved with your product, determining how it was actually manufactured. They're putting this in a report we're going to actually receive. Then the second sample, it's going to be shipped to you along with that report of what they learned from the first sample that they inspected. And finally, the third sample, that's the one that VTrust is going to hold on to. So before you pay the money and you do the pre-shipment inspection, you want to make sure that the goods match the quality that you agreed to. The quality you agreed to is that golden sample. So when they come in to do the pre-shipment inspection, they're able to have a sample of the product you agreed to and make sure that it's apples to apples. Like what you wanted to order is what you agreed is a perfect product in that sample. Now that you have your golden sample in the factory that you're going to work with, the next inspection I think is super critical is the full factory audit. The full factory audit, it's going to let you know things about the factory that you may not even be thinking are important, but when you see it in the report, you realize, oh wow, this is critical. or you've been burned by this and you actually are nodding your head right now and you're like, oh yeah, that's super important. I can't imagine how somebody would skip that. But some of these things are like, does the factory have electricity? Some don't. Is the machinery in the factory in great condition? You know, how many employees do they have? What is their quality control process? Who do they order their raw materials from? Do they have an export license? And are they on the verge of going out of business? Placing a large order with a factory who checks all the boxes like they exist. Yes, they have the products in stock. Yes, they have a golden sample, but is in the verge of going out of business before they finish your products. Definitely don't want to be in that situation. I actually have an experience that I'll share in another video where that almost happened to me. So after I approve the golden sample, I just let the factory know the good news, like, hey, the sample's on the up and up. I approve it. It fits what I'm looking for. And now we're going to move into the full factory audit stage before placing the actual order. The audit itself for the full factory audit takes about a day or two, usually costs about $350 to $400. And you get this massive comprehensive 40-page report. So after this report, you know the person that you're going to be developing this relationship with and spending a bunch of money, are they going to be able to meet the capacity that you'd like to? Or, you know, what are the shortcomings of this factory so that you have no surprises and know where you're spending your money? Super important that you do the factory audit. And I recommend not doing it until you have the golden sample in place, as there's no sense really in paying the $350 to $400 for the full factory audit if the factory can't even give you a sample that you can approve of. All right, you now have a golden sample and you know who you're working with. You pay 30% of your order and your products are being mass produced, but wait, don't go so fast. Since you do not have terms with the factory yet, you need to pay the remaining 70% of your order before they ship your goods. So that means once your products are done, you've put down 30% of this order. Let's say it's a $100,000 order. You put down $30,000, they're making your order. What you ordered is done. Maybe they send you a picture. Here's the bill of lading, send me $70,000 and I'm going to send it to the port. You're 6 weeks away probably from seeing these products, right? If you're using sea freight. So what I like to do at this stage is the pre-shipment inspection. So at this stage, how do you know if what you manufactured is accurate? How do you know if the goods they manufactured match up to your golden sample? Was anything missed? And this doesn't have to be like maliciously, like they sabotaged your product or they're only sending you half and there's a bunch of empty boxes. When I was selling humidors, sometimes, honest mistake, they would forget to put an extra key because our humidors had 3 keys in them. They were accustomed to manufacturing with 2. So if the person on the line didn't get the memo that day or the normal person was out sick, they only put in 2 keys instead of 3. Now my listings are shot. Everyone's expecting the 3rd key and I'm having to cannibalize my inventory just to pull 1 key out. The other thing you got to be concerned about here is if you're selling on Amazon, anything over a 1% defect rate will get your account suspended. So when the factory lets me know that the goods are ready, I send the next inspection, which is the pre-shipment inspection. The pre-shipment inspection to me is a super critical step in the production process. It has stopped me from getting ripped off, and it has stopped me from, which might be even worse, accepting inferior quality products, which are going to get my account suspended. So pre-shipment inspections, they usually run about $200 and they take a few hours to complete. I've never seen one take longer than a day. You know, your inspector shows up to your factory armed with the golden sample, selects products from, you know, randomly from the different pallets that you have. They compare them to the golden sample. They also look for anything extra that you want them to look at. Like one time I was making this gooseneck kettle. Some of the negative reviews of my competitor was that the kettle was amazing, but when the kettle was full of water, the handle that you were holding with the kettle, it would bend, bringing your hand too close to the actual hot steaming kettle. So one of the things we wanted to add in that inspection was, hey, look, in the inspection, even if everything looks on the up and up, fill this thing full of water, full of ball bearings. It doesn't matter. Weigh this thing down and make sure that it does not bend in and, you know, bow in and distort and get close to the person's hand where it can be burned. So I want to get all this checked out. You can add other things to your pre-inspection for them to check it out. And then when you get the report back, you can address any of these issues with the factory before you pay the 70% balance. You could even say, look, until you pass an inspection, you're on the hook for paying for subsequent inspections. So this inspection has saved me millions in flawed products and sunk resources. I would never pay the final balance of an order without first doing a pre-shipment inspection. Everybody, I love answering your questions in the comments, and I am the person that always answer these questions that you ask. So if you have any questions about product inspections, please do not hesitate to drop a comment below and we can chat about it. If you think of something or a type of inspection that you use that I may not have mentioned, drop it below. I'd love to discuss it with you. And I love seeing comments comments on the video. They give me motivation to keep going. The next inspection type is the random inspection. I use this inspection sparingly and mostly for, production runs where it's critical to get the shipment out on schedule. I used to sell a line of digital hygrometers that could accurately read the relative humidity in a humidor, and they could read it more accurate than anything on the market at the time. So I didn't want to wait until the shipment was completed to inspect the products, as the internal components of the product were super important to me. So to solve for this, I use random inspections. The final inspection type I'll share with you is the container loading inspection. So it took me several years and wasting a lot of money to understand how important this inspection is. Once I expanded my e-commerce sales internationally, though, I needed to place large orders with my factory in China, but I needed the products to be divided and going into different countries. And to go to these different countries, you need to put them in different containers or send them on different planes. Say, if you live in the US like me, you never want your products that you plan on selling in Japan and Canada and the UK and Germany, you never want them shipped to the US and then turning around and paying for shipping to export them from the US and then send them to that country. That applies to any country, in my opinion. So you're just gonna pay unnecessary extra shipping, which in turn just crushes your profit. So instead, I have to separate the containers that I'm importing into Canada, Mexico, and Europe, or wherever you're importing products. So what a container loading inspection does is it makes sure that the quantity and quality of the products for each of the respective country matches. So a situation I run into before was selling products in Japan. I love selling on Amazon Japan. Obviously, the font and the text, it's in Japanese. And I don't want to sell those products, and I'm not allowed to sell those products with Japanese instructions over here in the US and the package all in Japanese. But that happened. The factory just, put them in the boxes and sent them out. And I had stuff going to a different country that shouldn't be there. So a container loading inspection is going to make sure that everything that's supposed to go in that container is going. Since container sizes are much larger that I bring into the US, just because the Amazon US market is so much bigger, the smaller containers, I really need to maximize the space, which I'm going to try to do regardless of where I'm shipping. But it's even more important when I'm sending something to Canada. I need to max out every square inch of this 20-foot container. Since I'm not shipping 40s at one time to Canada, I need to make sure that the actual container, and the pallets meet the standards of the country that those products are going to. So I use container loading inspections anytime I'm working with a factory and I need what they are running in one mass production run to go to different countries. I hope you like this video. Make sure to check out the other videos on this channel and take a second to subscribe. See you in the next video.